first of all, happy Halloween. We do not celebrate Halloween here, but I saw all the trick-or-treaters outside. I am freezing, you guys. Wish I had a blanket in here. It's so cold. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can continue to see updates and follow our story and see my videos. Hi Christian, hi cutie. How are you guys? It is cold tonight where we're at. I made a fire and I forgot to bring a blanket in here, so I'm a little cold. Happy Halloween. We don't celebrate Halloween, but I still think it's fun for everybody else who does celebrate. I do let the kids go trick-or-treating though. We just don't celebrate Halloween. But is anybody else freezing? It is so cold today. So what fun questions do we have today? You can ask anything. No silly questions exist. Last time, well actually 2 times ago, Robbie's doing good. So just a quick little mini update on that. He's doing really good. He and I have talked on the phone a few times and he's making progress in the program, and we'll have court coming up this month to kind of see what the next step is for him, but he has been actually making progress. So that's good. He's completing his coursework and he does want to put in the work at this point. So he's been doing pretty good actually. So I'm really proud of him. And I think that I have some hope, so things are good. Yes. What's new with you guys? Did you guys have trick-or-treating in your areas? Or what did you guys do for Halloween? I worked this morning and then I did let the baby go trick-or-treating to my neighbors' houses, and they were really excited. And we actually just used the same costume we had last year because he really wanted to be the same thing, which was a duck. So he was a little miniature duck. He was real cute. The older kids didn't want to go trick-or-treating, but of course they wanted to take him trick-or-treating. So that was cute too. So me and 2 of the girls went trick-or-treating with the baby, and that was fun for a little bit. And then he got bored and cold, and then he just wanted food and to eat the candy. So that's what we did. We ate some candy and had dinner. It was not too cold. Yes, I am very happy that he's making progress, and I think I have hope, and I'm looking forward to maybe some changes that could be being made. And I think that him and I are making progress as well. And I think now that our relationship has been fully restored and that we've been working in a positive direction, I have a lot of hope for him, and I was really happy he got to watch my videos, and I'm happy that he gets to hear about the progress that the channel has had in helping other people and saving those little boys, and also saving a few other people. So those things make him happy, and I think that they've kind of motivated him to want to put in the work and be a good example for others. So hopefully he'll keep working hard, and hopefully he'll make more and more progress every week. And I'm just excited to see how far he'll come, and just kind of waiting to see what happens. But yeah, I'm hopeful. So that's good. Although he didn't call on Halloween, surprisingly. I mean, he usually calls on the holidays, but he didn't call tonight, so that's okay. They might have had like a party. That's my guess. They might have had some sort of little Halloween thing going on there, so I don't know. I'll hear about it soon, I'm sure. So what questions do you have not about Robbie? Anything that's burning your minds? My favorite Halloween candy, I don't like candy corn. And I keep seeing posts about, like, if you don't like candy corn, that you're not an okay person. And I do not like candy corn. I just don't like it. So that might make people unsubscribe, and that's okay, but I just can't get on board with the candy corn train. But I do like coconut candy, so anything with coconut in it, and nuts. I love anything with nuts and chocolate together, and caramel. Those are my favorites. And I also like a traditional Three Musketeers. Yeah. I was also listening to the radio the other day, and they were talking about non-traditional candy bars. I can't really get on that train. I'm not like a Take 5 fan or any of those weird candy bars now, but I did get to go over the weekend. I went back towards where I grew up, and we have a place that has like the best chocolate. Every place, I swear. So like every part of every state has a place that's known for like the best chocolate, like the high-end, delicious, most delicious chocolate out there. So my daughter and I, my one little one, she's 10, we have this thing where we buy chocolate covered pretzels from every chocolate factory we come across, and we review them and put them in order to decide who has the best chocolate covered pretzels. And so I went back towards my birthplace, and I got chocolate covered pretzels for her in time, and she's not home yet from her dad's house, so she and I don't get to eat them just yet, but I did get an extra one just so I could eat it and not feel guilty. But it was not as good as I remembered. The chocolate is, but the chocolate covered pretzels, they just, if we're only basing it off of chocolate covered pretzels, it's not going to be, it's just not, I don't think it's going to beat the ones locally here. Unsurprising. Thanksgiving. So for Thanksgiving, we always do like this big feast here. There's so many of us, so it's us and 5 kids, and we just make Thanksgiving dinner and we celebrate it together. And we talk about the peaks of the year, the pits of the year, what we want to accomplish before the end of the year, and what we look forward to most going into the new year. And that's something that we've always done at the dinner table for Thanksgiving. We talk about all those things. And then come Christmas, we talk about if we were able to accomplish the final things we wanted to accomplish before the end of the year. And we talk about our peaks and our pits and our goals for the new year. I don't think anybody is expecting too much out of 2021 at this point. I think 2020's been full of surprises. So I think 2021 is probably going to be an uphill climb compared to anything this last year. But yeah, so that's what we're doing for Thanksgiving. And Snickers are quite delicious. However, I would say I would prefer Milky Way and Three Musketeer over. So we are not going to put our children on my channel. We have decided that because none of you know their identities or their names or their faces, and we'd like to keep it that way. They are minors, and my obligation is to protect them always. I get sad and hurt because obviously I would love to show off my children to the world. They're incredible beings, and I love them so much. But also in the same sense, you have to understand that my channel draws not only victims, but it also draws pedophiles as well, who come to me and open up to me to help me understand their thinking that could potentially help me to help my son. So I get all types of people on my channel, and we're just not looking to exploit our children. And I just think at this time it's probably the best situation to just protect them and keep them off of my channel. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so just a brief summary of our story. Our son Robbie was in treatment for 15 months, and then they told us we had 30 days to get him out of treatment because he wasn't making progress. So we were stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I did everything and anything I could think of. I wrote every program, called every program I could think of in America, and I was like, please help us. And none of them were willing to take private payment, and the insurance was not willing to pay any longer because he wasn't making progress. So they said, sorry, he's not making progress, we're not paying for his treatment. So I wrote the Dr. Phil show. He called within a day, and they said, what are you doing this weekend? We're going to fly you out and film a show, and we'll be able to get you some help. So we flew out, and we took a chance, and we were able to get him into another treatment program so that he did not get released into independent living. And we are grateful that we had the opportunity to bridge that gap, because he was able to get a second treatment before he would be facing charges. If he didn't go into another treatment, he wouldn't have had that opportunity. He would have just faced charges. And we wanted to give him a real opportunity for growth before facing so many charges. And so we had found out when he was in the first program that he had offended on 2 young girls, and he had done that twice to each girl. And so we had no idea when we put him in treatment originally that he had already offended. And he did so well. He was at Bio Mom's house, but it was just really overwhelming. And if there was an opportunity for him to get help, further help, then we were willing to do whatever we had to do to be able to get him help. So we agreed to go on Dr. Phil, and they got him into a program. And ultimately, that didn't work out well for him either. And he did end up facing charges, but now he's in a state-mandated program getting treatment, and he's actually doing pretty well. And he's putting in the work at this point, and he's making progress. So he might be able to get released into a step-down program of some form. We'll kind of find out more information over time as some time passes and we just kind of work through the process. But there's no way to really know what's going to happen in the future until we kind of go through it one day at a time. So yeah, that's a brief summary of our story if you're tuning in for the first time. But that's such a small piece of my life. I have 5 other amazing kids too, and they are doing really well and have been minimally affected by this situation. They've worked through their traumas with how they handled finding out about their brother and the different things. You know, that was a lot for them to work through at first, but they actually all are doing really well, and now they only have to see their therapist once a month. So they're doing great, and I'm really proud of all of them, the way they've handled this with such grace. And they homeschool, and they're doing really well in school overall. It's been a definite transition, and as a family, we're just doing pretty good. We had a lot of fun today with the baby, trick-or-treating, and then I made a fire in the fireplace, so the girls were really excited. So now they're watching Halloween movies, and the baby is sleeping, so I decided to say hello to all of you. So yeah. What other questions do we have? They could be anything. Favorite color? I don't know if I have one. It's a shade of blue, actually. I'm not a girly girl. But yeah. So what else do you guys want to know? Anything? And I don't think a lot else has changed in my life since the last live. How do I spend my day? So I'm a personal shopper and a life coach. So I spend my day, it's like 9:30 here. But I spend my day shopping for people. Hello, Marissa. And then I spend it with my kids doing schoolwork and fun mom things. So the other day we carved pumpkins. They finally agreed to carve pumpkins, which they said they were too old for all along. And then we carved pumpkins. And then we like to bake and cook. So tonight, after I'm done with this, me and the 2 girls are going to make guacamole for tomorrow for football. Go Steelers. And what else are we doing? Oh, the other night we made pumpkin hot cocoa and pumpkin lattes out of the pumpkin guts. And we like to bake all sorts of things. So we make pumpkin bread this week, and we have to make banana bread because there's 4, unless my husband ate one, but there was 4 bananas on the counter this morning that were looking like they needed to be made into some bread. So we're going to do that tomorrow probably. We like to play games, hang out, you know, typical mom stuff. And the other day we went shopping at the outlets, and that was fun. The baby got a cute little Nike outfit for super cheap, and then him and I got matching Sperry boots, which I was really excited about because I got those really cheap. They had like buy one, get one, and I was like, that's awesome. So yeah, so he got some new boots, although he wore them for like 5 minutes and already scuffed them, and I was like, that little stinker, but I knew that was gonna happen. Aw, good night. And thank you. We definitely will. Do I have a job now? Yeah, I've always had a job. I'm a personal shopper, and right now I do personal shopping for people in my community, as well as some of the people who are filming for The Bachelor. So I've been getting their groceries and stuff and picking up like random things like their beer and whatever else they decide on. So no, he can never ever come home, ever. It's not even an option. He's not allowed at all to be around his siblings because he had sexual thoughts and urges towards them, and that was the basis of his hospitalization, was that he was going to rape them, and they no longer feel safe being around him, and I don't blame them. And yeah, he just had a lot of inappropriate thoughts towards his own siblings, and so he will never ever be allowed back in this house as long as they're still living under this roof, and they do not wish to have a relationship with him. So unfortunately, we are not going to force them to have a relationship. If one day they change their minds or decide to pursue a relationship, that's up to them. But at this point, no, not a single sibling would like to have a relationship with him. And so we respect that. It is sad. It's sad all the way around. There's a lot of things that you guys don't know that you'll never really know, or that I'll share because I don't feel like me sharing is helpful in any way. I feel like there's a lot of things that will always remain private, but just know that I have always put my children first and considered all children's feelings in making these decisions, and that it is the absolute best decision for our family, for him, and the state will never allow it. By law, he's not allowed to return home. It's not even an option, even if we wanted him to be able to return home. And at the first treatment center, none of our children were even allowed to visit him. The center said that no siblings were allowed to visit whatsoever. And so there was often times where we would have to only go one of us, me or my husband, or if we had the baby, we would have to sit out in the car and take turns going in and out, but we were not allowed to bring the children around him. But yes, I just think it's best and also the safest decision to not try and establish a relationship with his siblings at this time. I just think that would be very careless, and I'm not going to do it. And my husband is not going to do it. And we're by law not allowed to do it. So it's not even an option, even if we had to make that decision. And we're almost grateful in a way that we're not allowed to make that decision, because it makes us not do the back and forth. So, because that's hard. As a parent, it's extremely difficult to feel like you have to choose. And Dr. Phil said it best, like, it's not really choosing 5 or 1, it's choosing 6 or none. And that's something that sits with me, and I still think about that he said, and it's true, but it doesn't make it any easier. It's been extremely difficult to have to be firm with Robbie, and yeah, it's been hard. It definitely, that's hard too. I really struggle with what happened before me. I really struggle not knowing. And I talked to Robbie on the phone the other day, and he had memories of his biological mom hitting his sisters in the face and busting their lips open. And he brought up a memory about her hitting his one sister off of a TV stand and busting her face open. And when I hear stuff like that, I get like, I don't even know. My heart stops, because I know who my children are, and when I think about someone hurting them, I get angry and sad. Like, I wish that God would have created a path for me to come into their life sooner. Unfortunately, their dad was still married to her up until, I think it was 7 or 8 months before I met him. And so they're just, wasn't an opportunity. It wasn't in the cards. It wasn't God's plan for me to come into their lives just yet. And I think about that every day because with Robbie, I feel like I got to him just a little bit too late. And that's hard for me because I carry guilt and wonder, like, if I could have just got to him a little bit sooner, maybe he'd had a better shot. And his sister, who's a year and a half younger, I had just got to her in time. She also struggles. And so, you know, she's still working on repairing some of that trauma from childhood. And then the youngest of the three, she really struggled at first too. And it was hard. It was really hard to get these kids to understand love and respect and structure. And it was really hard. And there was a lot of things that happened that I saw that Bio Mom was doing. Sorry, I was reading your comments, but when I came into their life, we fought so hard, and I thought, there's no way, like, their mom could be bad. Like, just being the mom that I am, I want to believe that having a relationship with your mother, like, I can't imagine somebody not being an amazing mom to them. And so at first I encouraged them to see her, and then it became where I knew there was a lot I didn't know. And I started seeing things that were crazy and absurd, and I just, like, could not. I'm not going to disclose our state either, just because I think that it's best for my children to share minimal information that's not necessary. But yeah, I look back at some of those things and I'm just like, holy crap. And, like, we kept reporting it. Yeah, well, my mom was not a good mom. I forgive her, and I understand now that she went through a lot. She grew up very quickly. Yeah, they have me now, and I know that. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, Smitty. That's sad. My mother knew about the sexual abuse that I went through, and she turned a blind eye. And then when I came out to her years later, she was not at all surprised, but she was more surprised that I hadn't gotten over it and that I was still holding on to it. And she disclosed to me something she had went through and used that as a method of reasoning why it was okay that myself went through that. And that was hard. That was really hard. And that was really the beginning of the end of our relationship. And I just couldn't understand how a mother would react that way. But then again, there's a lot of things about my childhood that I don't understand. But I certainly do forgive her. I don't hold it against her. And I've gotten my closure. And I've chosen to move on from that relationship so that I could be healthy. But I don't have any hate in my heart for that woman. I appreciate her giving me life, and I almost appreciate all of the things that I went through, because had I not gone through them, I don't know that I'd be the person that I am. We kind of either become our past or we overcome our past, and I've been through so much trauma in my life that I feel like it's really shaped me to be extremely resilient. And sometimes I say to God, like, why do you think I'm strong enough for this? And I feel like I did that a lot in my life. And it was just going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And then I'm like, well, if I can go through this, there's nothing that's going to be harder that I can't go through. And then something else would pop up. And it was just constantly like, okay, God, like, when is this going to stop? Like, life's been a real challenge. And I mean, I've had brain surgery. Like, when you have brain surgery, you think to yourself, like, nothing else in life is going to be harder than this moment. And going through what I went through with losing my vision in my right eye and almost becoming blind, I mean, you don't think anything can be worse than that, right? So when it got harder than that, I was just a little bit surprised. And I've tried really hard to handle it with dignity and grace, and to just be being annoyed. You can't forget their foolishness. That's their go-to. Aw. Yeah, but yeah, like I don't know, God, I don't know what all he has in store for my life, and at this point, I'm just kind of like, okay, what's next? Like, bring it on. Like, at this point, I'm just like ready. It's like I'm waiting. And so I've had health issue after health issue. And this is funny. You guys probably don't even know what this is, but I get these things under my tongue, and it's called, sorry, I was reading. It's called a salivary stone. And I get these salivary stones, and I had to go, I think it was this year, and they had to dilate my salivary duct under my tongue to let these stones pass, right? So it's like such weird health things that I get. And of all things, who would have thought that? So yesterday, aren't they awful? Yes. Okay. So yesterday, I was looking under my tongue, and I have like a stone over here now. And this is the duct that's dilated. So I was like, well, it should pass, but it's kind of like stuck. And I've seen these surgeries where if you don't get the stone to pass, they'll literally take like a chunk like this big out from under your tongue, and surgically you have to like cut it out. And then you just like salivate more. It's so gross, right? So I also have lupus, and I've been struggling with that. And I noticed that when I'm having more of a lupus flare, that I tend to get more salivary stones or weird autoimmune things. And so I was just praying about this salivary stone, and that's like my biggest thing right now. But I was like, please go away. So today I looked at it, and it's smaller. So I was getting really excited about that. But yeah, I get all these weird things. TVs today play a big role in planting those horrible thoughts into children's mind. So my kids, while we're at it, let's talk about this. My kids get, what's the word? Restricted. And so they can go on TV, and they can watch TV up until 9 p.m. and then all the TVs time out, and they have to go to bed. So they know that, except for the weekends. I think I have it set till 11. But yeah, so my kids also can't watch anything past PG-13 because, well, first of all, when we were kids, I had a black and white television with like 3 channels. And so we have every single channel known to man in this house. And they're just not allowed to watch anything PG-13 or higher without a passcode. So in the event that they find something they want to watch that's like higher than PG-13, they can come get me, and if I approve it, I can put in the passcode and they can watch it. And they also don't get free range to the internet, but they do get internet. They do have tablets, and there is one cell phone that they get to share. And so my daughter messages her real dad on that cell phone, and then that's a phone. So it's basically used like a landline, but if they want to call their friends, or if their friends want to talk to them, they can use that phone. But it sits out in the open. It's not in anybody's pocket, being hidden, being used for searching, and the web browser on the cell phone's disabled. And then they do have tablets, and they're allowed to watch children's YouTube. So there's a YouTube for kids, and so they're allowed to do that. And they're also allowed to use the computer, which has internet access, and they can search on there for like all of their school projects, or if they want to go on there to find nail designs or whatever. Sometimes they just want to use the internet, which is fine, but we don't have private cell phones and tablets in their bedrooms. And, you know, we just kind of keep them contained that way. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I know there are terrible things he does, but do you have him for sure trapping your son in the legal system? So I think, Nate, with all due respect, I think, first of all, your comment is extremely ignorant in a sense that you clearly don't have all of the information in making such a forward statement such as that. I did not trap my child in the legal system. I provided my child with a path for progress and for rehabilitation. I got him into treatment for 15 months the first time. He did not take the program seriously. During that time, it was disclosed very early on that he had molested 2 young girls, and he had done it twice. And he also expressed that he wanted to still do those things, and that he had no desire to change whatsoever, and that he liked this part of himself, and so he was not putting in the work. His behavior went downhill, and he did not make any forward progress, and therefore he was set free from the program, and moving back home was not an option. CYS and the state would not allow it. So they were actually going to charge him at that time. However, we had written the show because we wanted to give him a shot at rehabilitation yet again. And we asked him, if we got you help, will you take this treatment seriously? And he said yes. Had he taken the treatment seriously, he would not have been charged. My husband and myself did not press charges, nor did the victims. The state pressed charges. And there's nothing I can do to protect him at that point. They were reported to, which is by law, the treatment center has to report those things. And the agencies here have to work with the state police whenever there's victims. And it doesn't matter if the victims or parents want to press charges. If the state decides that it's worth pressing charges because they find it to be bad enough, then that's what they do. Because he was in treatment for 2 years straight with zero progress, the state said, this is a danger. He can't live with you. We're not going to put him in foster care, and we're certainly not going to put him into independent living and have other people's children violated. So, one, you're welcome that we thought of your children first. And two, I did not force him to do those things, and I refuse to accept ownership or have somebody like yourself try and make me feel like I should feel remorse for him making bad decisions and the state deciding that he needed to be punished for his actions. I have done everything I can to help my child. I've done everything I can to get him rehabilitated. I have put my own reputation and life on the line to give him a second opportunity to take that serious. And unfortunately, he made his bed, and that's kind of where he's at. Like, he had to take it serious. He's 16 years old. He could drive a car. He's going into his 17th year. Like, it's not like he's a little kid anymore. And I love him, and I will always support him. But I cannot do the work for him. And I refuse for people such as yourself to try and put that on me as if I can do that, or if I can magically wave a wand and fix his situation. Is he in treatment right now through the state? Yes. So to say he's locked up? No, he's not. He's in a treatment center, and he will get to go down to a step-down treatment center, and then eventually he'll be released, and he'll be able to live in society and be able to manage his thoughts and urges and live, hopefully, somewhat normal. So his life is far from over. He doesn't even have to register as a sex offender when he's 21. As long as he takes his treatment serious and makes the progress that he needs to make, then, you know, he gets a pretty normal shot at life. And everything on his juvenile record gets wiped free except for one charge, which they only keep that charge because when he's an adult, if he decides to offend, then they smack him with the book, is basically how it works. But yeah, so there you have it. So again, Nate, your comments are clearly ignorant, meaning you don't have the knowledge. He's well aware that they have to report. He was well aware that when he disclosed to me, I would have to report. He is very well aware of his rights. So again, your comments don't make sense, and you just sound kind of silly. But that's okay. I'll let everybody else handle my light work. Just trying to catch up. So my kids don't even really want to look at inappropriate things because they're so disgusted and traumatized by their brother that I really don't even have a concern that they're going to be searching those things. Sorry. I'm trying to catch up on reading. Refuse to be serious. The family has been amazing. Happy Halloween! It's true, Darcy. Sometimes tough love is the only thing that we can do. And no, Nate certainly didn't trigger me. He's actually commented on my other videos before, And I just kind of laugh at him because he's clearly somebody who might watch bits and pieces of one thing and has no idea. He has no idea. But now he's blocked, so it doesn't really matter. I've given him chance after chance after chance, and I've just hoped that like he would see different things and maybe educate himself on our actual story. But it's super easy for people to have a negative opinion. But I will never change where I stand on this situation or my feelings towards the situation. I cannot do the work for him. And that is something that for a long time it took me to accept, because I was trying every day, researching, and I was just constantly looking like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I actually got so angry and so frustrated. It just built and built and built. And eventually I was like, I had to work with my own therapist and be like, this is not something I can change. And Dr. Phil said, this is not something I can parent him out of. And I still get emotional over that line, but like, oh, it hurt, man. Like when you realize you cannot do the work for your child and that your child has to do the work on their own, that freaking hurts. It does, every day. I wish I could do the work for him. I wish I could make him see, you know, the other side of it. And I wish I could fix the situation, but I'm doing everything I can do to help with the situation. And I certainly can't progress it any faster. I can't make him see it for anything that he doesn't see. And ultimately, this is his life. This is his decision. And that's hard. It's certainly hard as a parent. But I also know that if I carry that burden, that it's going to lead to me being angry and sad. And I would rather focus my energy. I always read my emails. Sometimes it takes me a few days though, because I get a lot of them. But yeah, I just need to focus my energy on moving forward and healing so that I can be a loving and supportive relationship for him. I don't like whenever, I was so mad at him there for a minute because he said that if we got him into this treatment center, and I said, if you're not going to take it serious, we are not going to go on Dr. Phil and put this all out there. And you know, I don't want to put our family out there like that if you're not going to take this treatment seriously. And he said, I promise, I'll take it serious. Like, please just get me help. Like, please. So then I did, and he didn't take it serious. And I was so mad. I was so mad for a minute. And I still loved him, and I still was a decent mother, but I just felt like this part of me was so angry that I just felt like it was difficult for me to understand what my role was becoming, because when he gets charged, they basically tell you you're no longer in a parenting role. You have to love and support this person, but understand that you can't really make any decisions for them any longer. And it was a really big transition period. So, okay, I gotta block the next troll. Hold on. All right. But yes, I'll definitely read your story. I just haven't had a chance the last several days. I've been extremely busy. Yes, I've heard a million times about negative entities, and I'm not having that discussion. He has been prayed over. The church has blessed him. He's been anointed. Like, no, just stop already. So, Miss Michelle, why do some people not want to be overweight, but they still eat cake? Sit with that for a minute. I mean, think about it. Just because you want something doesn't mean you want to have to do the work either. I don't think any pedophile wants to be a pedophile, so to speak. I don't think that they want to think that way, but when they realize that it's so freaking hard to have to put in the work to change, at that point, which one is easier? Putting down the cake or eating the cake? Because the cake is comfort, right? It's all you know. And so it's just, you know, he he wants to be better, but he wants to be able to like eat a pill and be better, or to wave a wand and be better. But I just don't think that was easy for him to grasp, that he was actually going to have to work at this, because his entire life he's been enabled and he didn't have to work for anything. He was always given everything, and he was the golden child. And while his sisters were being abused, he was just being coddled. And so when you think about a child who's been enabled, you have to think about how difficult it is to come to terms with, what do you mean I have to work for something? If I want this, everybody just gives it to me. He's a really good manipulator too. So it took him a long time. I mean, it's been 2 years. It's taken him 2 years to finally start putting in the work because he didn't want to. And now I question, sometimes he says he wants to actually do the work, and then other times he says he wants to do the work so that he doesn't have to stay in treatment for the rest of his life. So either way, whichever one's motivating him, he's still doing the work. And so I'll take it. Like, I'm not going to complain if he's doing the work, you know? But, yeah, it's hard. Ask them to leave. But it's definitely not demonic. There's actual frontal lobe dysregulation, and it's been proven on his scan, so it's been proven, the brain mapping abnormalities, which, I mean, that's on a scan. It's not an entity. So with all due love and respect, I wish people would stop with that. It's not helpful or beneficial to our family. And when you are shoving something down someone's throat, I don't feel like that's the appropriate way to go to anyone about it. Just like I have a strong faith in religion, however, I'm not going to preach to all of you because I don't feel like that is my way of bringing you to God. The best way to bring someone to God is through living a life that is reflective of your faith and talking about it in small moments that people can handle. So I just definitely don't think trying to make me see something that I'm not going to see in regards to evil entities and demonic situations, like, please stop. Thank you. It's definitely a hard topic, and I think that every time I talk about it, it gets a little bit easier, but I definitely still have moments. I mean, you guys saw me get teary-eyed, but I don't bawl anymore on camera, so that's progress, right? I'll take it. I still have moments I break down, like when I did the video about his closet. I had no idea how hard that was going to be, and actually that was one that I filmed because of the upcoming update. We filmed for an update episode, so that will be, part of that will be on there. And yeah, that was hard because I don't go in there very often. My husband just came inside. Husband, why don't you come sit with me for a minute and I get to ask you my 2 questions.
I need a shower.
Can I do 2 questions and then a shower?
I need a shower. I need a shower.
Just 2 questions.
Okay, go.
Well, you have to sit.
No.
Please.
I need a shower.
Guys, my husband said I'm allowed to ask him 2 questions on my YouTube channel. So, how about tomorrow or later on this evening, I will do live with Richard. And it's only 10 o'clock now. So depending on when he comes down, he might be willing to do them tonight. But I've been thinking so hard about what 2 questions I want to ask him, because he's only willing to talk about 2 questions. We're not so adorable. We're kind of dorky, actually. God, you had brain mapping. How else could you understand what is going on inside? So, if you don't mind me asking for the 2 victims, were they family, friends for the girls, and how are they doing? So I'm not disclosing any information about victims, and they are doing well. They are minors, and it is not I could disclose information, but they're minors, and I'm not going to disclose information because it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. They're doing well. And I'm sorry if I come off like I get like mad about that, but I am just very much protective. And so you'll see like protective me and then like normal me. I just saw the Dr. Phil episode. Have you ever admitted he is simply broken and cannot be fixed? So that is your take on the situation. There has actually been many studies done that when a child is found to have pedophilia tendencies at a young age and gets treatment early on, that they actually can be rehabilitated and never offend again. So maybe research instead of saying your opinion as if it's fact, because it's definitely not fact. But it's easy to think that, and I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you. I just think that it just sounds a little silly, and I know that people will get very annoyed with your comments, and then you'll be eaten alive. I've watched it happen. I don't even have to get mad or upset because you guys are my army, and you guys always look out for us and our family, and I don't have to fight off the silly people because so many others do. The way the question was asked is, have I ever admitted that he is simply broken? And no. So I'm not going to defend him. And I don't support anyone who's going to defend that comment, because why would I admit something that's not true? Not doing it. Any other questions, guys, that are relevant, or it doesn't have to be about Robbie? I'd actually prefer to talk about anything else right now. Like, I didn't want to talk about Robbie this whole live. It's just little mini updates and then talk about whatever else. The other day I was asked how many chickens I could fight off. I can answer those questions all day. Halloween was good. We took the baby trick-or-treating, even though we weren't going to go trick-or-treating. We only went to the neighbors. And for your husband. So yeah, so we went to a few neighbors' houses, and then the baby was so excited and he ate all of his candy, but he did not like scary people. He was so terrified of the scary people. So we had to stay. He was a duck, a little duck. And so we had to stay away from the scary people. So it was really cute. My favorite color is like teal or blue. Yes, my husband is on the autism spectrum, although his family never had him diagnosed as a child, which is a whole thing. But he is an Aspie, and he is a very high-functioning human being with an incredibly intelligent mind and a very high IQ. And so I think it might have been easy to overlook having him diagnosed as a child, but he does a lot of strange things, or he also lacks empathy, which is difficult. And his son also has autism, so Robbie has autism, and that could be why it's been more difficult to transform his thinking, because generally Aspies lack empathy, and so my husband definitely lacks empathy and sympathy, and he's not a super emotional being, and so yeah, so he struggles in those ways, but he's so incredibly intelligent. And my husband also gets really frustrated if you don't use words for what they mean, and I am one of the ditziest people out there probably, and when I speak sometimes I don't use the right words, and he gets so annoyed. He's like, that's not even what you just said. Like, it means something totally different. Like, you're not making sense. And he gets so frustrated when I talk. And if I call something a thingy, oh man, he does not like if I call something a thingy. It's not funny, but also like I can't change who I am. So we definitely get annoyed with one another over those types of things because it's funny, but not very often. I mean, only when I try to tell a story to him. I'm not very good at it. Yes, I definitely think people on the spectrum definitely get frustrated because words have meanings, and they're absolutely right. I mean, my son also, actually all three of our boys have autism. My son has it too. He's more PDD NOS level before the DSM-5. And he doesn't get hung up over words, but he gets hung up over emotions. So if he perceives something as a certain way emotionally, he can either like perceive it as something and then he gets really angry, or he can perceive it as like something different. He can get really sad, and he tends to be more of like an empath in life, so he's just a little bit more emotionally dysregulated in that way. But overall, he's like really stable, and you would never even know he was on the spectrum unless for some reason every once in a while he just gets triggered by something emotionally. So he's completely different than the other ones. And then the baby is very much like my husband. And so I thought when I found out he had autism as a baby, I was like, oh, I got this. I've been through this before. But he's completely opposite of my other child with autism. So I was not ready for this. And the therapies and stuff that I'm going through, totally different. Like with my first son on the spectrum, we would put him on these boards and we would spin him in circles for stimulation for the brain so that his eyes would start to wiggle, and then we would spin him in the other direction for 1 minute, and then he would not get dizzy at all and his eyes would stop. And it was the weirdest thing ever. And then he did overstuff his mouth, my first one, and so we did some like oral stimulation, different things like that. With this baby, he overstuffs his mouth. He's extremely sensitive to loud noises. My other son used to line up objects and spin things a lot. This baby lines up objects sometimes, and he loves to spin objects, but this baby is like so much smarter. He knows his alphabet, his colors, his numbers. He knows his 50 states. He is 2. He just turned 2 in June. And sometimes I just can't. And he likes to take things apart and then put them back together. And he's 2. And I sometimes am like, I was not ready for this. I had no idea. And with this baby, we're actually practicing what's called brushing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I'd never heard of it before this baby. I mean, I heard of it, I think, but I never used it before this baby. And it really helps him a lot. And he's obsessed with sidewalk chalk, and he likes to go outside and play with sidewalk chalk. So I created the sidewalk table now that it's fall, so he can bring the sidewalk chalk inside, and he can just color away all winter long. But yeah, we're working on a sensory room, and I got him a sensory swing, and at first he hated it. He hated being confined, and now he thinks it's the greatest thing ever, but it's a little bit too close to the wall, and so he purposely like pushes his body up against the wall. It makes me a little nervous. So I think we're going to move it a little bit farther away from the wall. But yeah, he really loves that, and he's just he's a whole different child, and he's just incredibly intelligent. So it's really fun to watch. My husband, he's definitely fun. He's way funner than I am. So yeah, okay. So it's Blue, you came in late. Are you an English teacher? I need to know. No, I am not an English teacher, because if I was, I would probably hit myself. I'd be like, stop saying the word and like. Apparently I say like a lot too, and I don't mean to. So I definitely am not an English teacher. Okay, next question. Not a question, but those butterflies are so cute. I love them. Thank you. This is actually my Zen room. So this is where I come to do like calm meditation. And it's just very earthy. And I have all my like chakra balancing stuff in this room. And so it's just like a wholesome, like quiet room where I come and I sit and I do all my meditating. So thanks. I like my butterflies. They make me feel calm. And you can't really see them, but here, I'll try to tilt the camera. But there's like some plants up there. And there's like butterflies all over the wall. And there's like all sorts of stuff in this room. But yes, it's just very calming for me. So that's how I set it up. Okay, next question. I'm at a Taco Bell drive-thru. What do I want? Oh, a chicken quesadilla. Or a chicken burrito with extra chicken. It has to be shredded. I don't want gristle in my chicken. That gets me. I can't do it. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, Bread Boy. Now I need to know how many chickens could I fight off. Okay, so well, they put stipulations on the chicken thing. So there was, for every 6 normal chickens, there was a 7th chicken that was of large size and strong. So I said confidently 21 chickens because I had blankets around me at the time, and I think that if I could just like grab some of the blankets and toss it on the 6 chickens, they would probably all fit under that blanket, and then I could fight off that big chicken. And I think I could probably toss blankets fast enough on the 20, no, it'd be 18 little chickens, and then fight off the 3 big chickens. But I said I was feeling confident that day, so probably 28 chickens. But then I was worried because I thought people were going to like tell PETA that I'm fighting chickens, and I'm not a chicken fighter. I am not. I love chickens. But if I had to fight chickens and there was 4 giant ones, I could probably do it. But I could definitely do 3 giant chickens with 21 little chickens. And I mean, you could probably like leg sweep them. So my son's a martial artist, and so I don't know if you know what a leg sweep is, but you could probably leg sweep like 6 of those little chickens. And if they're just normal chickens and they're not like super smart chickens, then usually if you redirect them, they'll probably go away anyway. So the only real battle is the big chickens. I mean, realistically, right? Because why would regular chickens, like we had chickens and they weren't like that. Yes, they said that the baby is very gifted, so it's pretty crazy. He's pretty amazing. My son is on the spectrum and is obsessed with spitting things. Oh, yes, those are definitely addicting. You could definitely get caught up in them. It's almost as bad as TikTok, which I call the rabbit hole, and I refuse to watch TikTok, although I do every once in a while, but then I get sucked down that rabbit hole. Oh, thank you for the love, Cutthroat. What do I do for self-care? So I kind of covered this a little bit, but I meditate. I am actually a grandmaster in Reiki and a teacher in Reiki, and I'm also a life coach. So positive self-talk, a lot of prayer. I mean, me and God have like an open phone line. I'm pretty sure I have him on speed dial at this point. But seriously, I pray a lot. And I really like to just wake up before everybody else. And I like to just sit here and I like to prepare myself for the day. I like to think about what was the most difficult thing I've been through the last day. What am I going to take on for this week? And just kind of get my mind set for a half hour and drink my cup of coffee. And then that's just my quiet time. And I take that quiet time to kind of like prepare myself mentally and just kind of refocus and just get ready for the day. And then sometimes in the evening, like if the baby goes to sleep early, I like to meditate and just listen to calm meditation music. And same thing, just kind of clear my mind, feel the emotions I feel, let them free, release them to the world, take on some positivity and just exhale negativity and just kind of let it go. So that's what I do for myself. And then I have a therapist I talk to once a month or every other month. It just depends. She gets busy and then she cancels sometimes. Wow, butterfly wall in a Zen room is a cute idea. I used to own butterflies and watch them to feel happier. I feel like that'd be so relaxing to own butterflies. I've traveled to Mexico and that's it. Well, I lied. Canada. I've been to Canada and Mexico. Everything that touches the US. I've been all over. Although I've never made it up to Alaska, and I definitely need to because I have a friend there, and I told her the next time she goes home, I need to go to Alaska. You say a few things in your live streams that made me laugh. Oh, Darcy, I'm glad I can make people laugh. I asked my husband yesterday if I was funny. He said, no, not really. I only laugh at you sometimes. And I was like, so you don't find my jokes funny? He's like, only sometimes. Because I have like a weird sense of humor, so I'm not like super funny. Hi, Simply Sanchez. How are you? So yeah, he doesn't think I'm all that funny. And so then I was like, So I made like 3 jokes in a row, like on the car ride home. And he laughed at all of them. And I said, you do too think I'm funny. I just don't tell very many jokes. Or I'm not that clever that I think of that many jokes. But I thought it was pretty funny. And my kids think I'm hilarious. Although sometimes they think I'm just embarrassing, which is even better. Like, okay, so there was this one time where my son and I went into the grocery store. And he was being a little rascal. And I said, if you don't quit it, I'm going to embarrass you. And then he kept going. He said something else. And he was 12 at the time. So he said something dumb. And I'm just like, all right. So I started dancing. And I'm like, dancing in the aisles, just dancing. And my son was like, oh my gosh. So this parent goes by the aisle. And they're like, wow, Mom, you got the music in you, don't you? And I was like, sure do. And I kept dancing. My son never, ever, ever tried to embarrass me in public again. So I use that as an example because it is hysterical. I'm just so random and like, it's never planned. I'm just naturally a weird person and I'm just authentically me. I don't really know how to be anything but me. And anything could come out of my mouth at any time. And that's like the other day, I forget what word I said. I don't remember, but it was a cuss word, and I said it on my live, and I was like, that's right. I'm not perfect, and I do cuss. A chicken as big as a foghorn leghorn. That big of a chicken? Miss Michelle. Then I'm only going to be able to do 7 chickens, because come on. Who can take on a leghorn? That's a big chicken. Does it have horns, too? Because if that chicken's got horns, but have you ever seen a chicken kick? Chickens kick. I bet that chicken would kick. I don't even know if I could take on all 7, maybe. Oh, that changes it a little. Birds are crazy. You were brave for 28. Well, I wasn't thinking a longhorn-sized chicken. I was thinking like a dog-sized chicken for the big ones. I guess now that we've clarified the size of these big chickens, maybe it is only 7 chickens. Like maybe I'm not as brave as I thought. That's scary. Chickens have claws, people. And if they had leghorn, their claws would be like as big as my hands. Could you imagine being kicked with a chicken claw? That crap would hurt. That would hurt. I'd probably take off running and be like, forget you chickens, you win. Throw in the towel. Not doing it. I don't think I could take on a leghorn. Now you got me scared of chickens. I'm going to go to bed tonight dreaming of these chickens kicking my butt. Like, this is serious now, people. She took this to a whole new level. My honesty is so funny. You seem so bubbly and I love it. You seem like a fun person to be around. You crack me up. I'm just me. I don't know. I don't know how to be anything but me. And we're all going to have chicken nightmares. This is true. We're all going to have chicken nightmares. But what I need to know is if we do have chicken nightmares, who wins? Who wins? You or the chickens? We got to get our confidence back and be like, we're going to win. Sorry, there was some dust in my face. Eyes kind of freak me out. My son chases them around. They got laser beam eyes. Chickens are a little bit scary. And I don't know if I should admit this, but I wouldn't be me if I wasn't just like blatantly honest. And when I was growing up, I grew up on a farm and sometimes they would kill chickens. And that always made me really sad because they don't die right away. And then they really do run around like with their heads off if you like kill them on a farm or whatever. But it's not because they're still alive. It's just because I guess it's just something their body does or whatever. So now sometimes I really am kind of traumatized by chickens. And because I grew up around farmers and like a lot of our friends, we would help on the farms, I have legit concerns about eating meat. And it's really difficult for me because I think about just like, this is probably gonna make people laugh, but I'm not a vegetarian. I do eat meat. But sometimes I think about like, I just like poke my arm and I'm like, this is what you're eating. Like if you were a chicken, you might as well just bite your arm and eat it. Like, am I weird? Like think about it. When you eat like a chicken leg, you're like eating your arm. Oh, you're still waiting on me to sing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You're welcome. No worry, we don't laugh. I do this all the time too. Also not a vegetarian. It's just crazy to think about. Yes, it is so crazy to think about. And I don't want to fixate on it for too long because I won't eat meat for like a week if I think about it. But yeah, sometimes I'm just like, I can't. I just like stare at it. And I'm like, nope, not today, Satan. Not doing it. Not doing it. And, oh, that reminds me. I want to make up my tofu. I have some tofu in the fridge. I need to fry it up. And I don't know if you've ever had like fried teriyaki tofu. But if you're not having that in your life, you probably should. I hated tofu because I tried it wrong the first few times. I didn't eat chicken for a long time because I used to freak out by the texture reminding me of my own flesh. Yes, it's so true, Darcy. It's crazy. Fried tofu is amazing. You can put literally anything on that. Like Frank's Red Hot, the ranch seasoning, bomb. Teriyaki sauce, bomb. Patreon or membership anywhere. So I have a membership on my YouTube, which pissed people off, which totally fine. I made it because on there I can talk about anything that I can't talk about on these videos, and people would ask me to make a membership on my YouTube, so I did. I have a Patreon, but I've never set it up because I don't fully understand it, and so YouTube's already hard for me. And so I did do a membership thing where I can talk about anything on there, but on this like regular channel, I am limited by the community guidelines. So I try to keep it as calm, even though I'm not a calm person. Like I'm hyper and whatever. But yes, fried tofu. Okay, so back to the tofu thing. So I like to put it in stir fry. It's almost like eggs, and you can put it in with like your tortellini. Like people think that's crazy, but throw some basil in with your tofu and some like fresh tomatoes, and you can almost make it like it's tortellini. Just chunk it right, and then put cheese on it. I like to do weird things with tofu. That sounded probably weird, but I like to put everything on it. Yes, you definitely have to try it. Just get weird with your tofu, people. I didn't think I'd be saying that tonight. But you gotta just try it. You only live one life. I mean, I went to culinary school. I think I've told you guys that before. I never ended up doing anything with my degree because I ended up getting pregnant and had a baby right out of culinary school. But I can cook. And so naturally, I like to go into my cupboard, find the weirdest things. So have you ever watched that? I think it's on like, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV, but there's a show where they give you certain ingredients and you have to build it into your dish. So I like to go to my cupboard and pretend like I have to use these items. So I might grab like a can of refried beans and some tofu and be like, this is the staple of your dish. Now make it. Is it chopped? So then I'm like, you have to use, and then maybe I'll throw in a can of corn. So I have refried beans, tofu, and corn, and I'm going to make the best dish ever. And so I have a lot of fun with it. I don't know. I'm weird. My kids do it with me too, but they don't do it so much with cooking as they do baking. We have cupcake wars all the time in this house. We literally, I'll give my kids, like, they can go in the kitchen, use whatever they want, or we can like prepare ahead of time and we'll go to the store and buy a whole bunch of random things to make cupcake wars. And so we do that all the time. So we'll just like, they'll get in their head, like we'll each come up with what kind of cupcake we want to make. And then we have 15 minutes to go into the store. This is so dumb, but I'm telling you guys this because this is what we do. This is what we do in this house. And you guys want to know what I do with my life. But yeah, we go 15 minutes. You go in the store. You can get anything you want to make your cupcakes. You have to bring it up to the checkout. I have to pay for everything, obviously. But then we bring it home, and then we all work in the same kitchen, so we have to like put our cupcakes in at the same time so that we're not like cheating each other. So we spend time prepping. There's no real time limit on the prepping. And then after the cupcakes come out, we do our decorating and stuff. And one time, my daughter even had my husband get out his blowtorch, and she torched the top of her cupcake. And I was like, this girl's going hard. And I think she beat me that time. And now I refuse to lose because I'm the mom and I should win, right? Next time we have cupcake wars, I'll share the cupcake tasting with you guys. You guys will laugh because our cupcakes are crazy. I remember one time I made a cupcake and the whole thing, like the cupcake was still too warm. I didn't put it in the freezer, and we don't have a blast chiller. We're not that fancy people. Okay. We're not actual chopped here, but, or cupcake wars or whatever. And so my whole cupcake just melted and it was just like gone. And then I just had this plain like icing kissed cupcake that just was so sad. That was a flop. It was one of my first times with them on cupcakes. And actually I'm really good at baking. And so I was really mad at myself. Yeah, but it was funny. It was funny. They have a lot of fun. There's no food in the house. I just throw everything in a sandwich or wrap. And I've never made a bad sandwich. You should start a sandwich shop. You should. You could make an amazing sandwich shop out of nothing. Do you guys want to hear from my kids regarding cupcake wars? I'll invite them on here, but they can't be, you know, on the camera. But you guys can hear from them about cupcake wars. Who's the judge? Usually my husband, because he doesn't bake. It's hard to get that man to make dinner. The other day, he agreed to make dinner, and he really broke out a sweat with the spaghetti. He made some spaghetti, and I bought him a bag of frozen meatballs, and he really threw that together nicely. But sometimes I'll make like elaborate meals. Like I love making tortellini with like fresh basil, fresh garden tomatoes, and I'll put in like mushrooms in some of them. And then I always grate some like, I really like smoked Gouda. And then I always have like fresh parm to grate, and I love me some feta. So I put feta in there. I'm a cheeseaholic, so I love me some cheese. Yep. But when I make dinner, it's just a little different than when my husband makes dinner. I think it's adorable. I love when he makes dinner. I'll take it. He could make frozen pizzas, and I'd be like, yes, please, make dinner. So I don't have to. But yeah, my kids, so my kids range in age. They're 2, 10, 13, 13, 14, 16. Robbie's 16. Do you think you would ever make a mini cooking show on this channel? Like just some recipes you make? So I actually did mini cooking things on this channel already. One of the things me and my kids just did again the other day was make hot cocoa or lattes out of pumpkin guts. It's a pumpkin. It's so good. It tastes like pumpkin pie. It's so good. And I also made kitty treats and doggy treats on my channel. And what else did I do? I think I did something else, but I can't remember. Aw, you guys are amazing. Thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you, Darcy. And there was somebody else too, Jamie. Jamie Jackpot. Thanks. I love that you guys love me. I love you guys so much, seriously. I know that I say it all the time, but I seriously can't say thank you enough. I legit love you all so much. Just found your comment from a comment on Dr. Phil. Clicked your name and you were streaming with the subject matter I was not expecting. The cupcake chat. You're so welcome, right? Cupcakes are important. They're so important. Note, if you make my cat treats or my dog treats, put them in the refrigerator or they will get moldy. They are made with real pumpkin. And I got to come up with some fun Thanksgiving turkey recipes for you guys. So this month will be turkey themed. Last month was pumpkin themed. But this month we need to do turkey themed random things. Aw, yes, I definitely love you guys so much. People get worried because they think I get stressed out by the negative comments. But honestly, my channel is 95% positive. And then somebody the other day was like, whoever put the 100 and something thumbs down or dislikes or whatever you call it, they're whatever. And I was like, wait, I have dislikes? Like, I am so oblivious. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know how many people like my videos. I don't know how many people don't like my videos. I don't really keep track of that stuff. It's irrelevant and it's not really important to me because I know who I am and I love myself and I love you guys. And I know that you guys tune in because you believe in me and I know that we have so much fun together. So I legit love it. I'm using the lives to learn English because you speak so clearly. Really? Because I feel like I speak like I have poo in my mouth and I'm told I mumble too much. So you just need to hear my husband speak if you think that's great. Let me see if my kids want to talk about Cupcake Wars. I'm going to ask them. I never get why people are so negative, like positivity and having fun won't hurt. I love these chats and people like you. Honestly, you're so fun. Oh, thank you. I don't know. So for me, I don't believe in absorbing negative energy. So I believe like there's going to be negative in the world and there's going to be people who don't like me. And that's okay because I don't honestly like everybody. I mean, in the world, you can think about a handful of people that you don't have a lot of respect for or that you don't like. And so it's okay. I don't have to be everybody's person. Like people cannot like me. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to lose sleep tonight because people don't like me. There's plenty of people that do like me, and even if there was nobody that liked me, I like me. That matters. So I'm just going to keep on being me because I don't know how to be anybody else, and I'm pretty sure everybody else is taken, so. Yes, this is live. Welcome to my crazy lives. But, yeah. Sorry to bring this up. What is going on with your stepson? So we already went over that. He's doing really well. He's putting in the work at this point, and I'm proud of his progress, and we're just going to take it a day at a time and kind of see how he keeps going. Hi, Jessica. Is this your first time on my live? If so, you're in for a treat. We've been talking Cupcake Wars. Hello, Flower. Welcome back. You were so excited the other day. I keep track and memorize people who love me because I love those people too. But you know what I don't memorize? People who don't like me. Hi, Kyle. I can't remember the ones that don't like me. And I think I talked about this on one of my lives before, but when my husband and I had our own business, there was customers, and there were certain customers who would get mad, and then they were mean, and I didn't prefer them. I thought they were mean. And then they would call like a month later, and I would forget because I have short-term memory loss due to having brain surgery. And they'd call back and I'd be like, oh, that person is such a nice person. And then my husband would be like, last month she was really mean to you, and you didn't like her at all. And I'm like, really? She's so nice, though. I'm surprised. Good thing I forget those things. And then I just laugh and brush it off. But yeah, my husband's always like, sometimes your forgetfulness is a blessing. I've never been on live with you, but I have been watching your videos. Aw, thanks. What's up? You're energetic. I am always energetic, Kyle. We were talking about chicken fighting and Cupcake Wars and just the weird, silly things that I do. I think I might hear my husband. We might have talked long enough that I get to ask him 2 questions on my YouTube channel. Is that my husband? Yeah. It's Richard. You have to come in. We get to ask him 2 questions. Make these questions count, people. We only get 2 questions. And I get a freebie.
No, 2 questions.
No, I get 1 freebie that doesn't count as a question. It's not really a question. It doesn't count. He said, haha, come on, Richard. I love you. You help me remember to stay positive and laugh in bad situations. Oh, I'm glad. Definitely. Can we see my dog? Yes, but not while we see Richard, because if we see the dog and Richard, Richard will leave because he doesn't like the dog. Oh, here he comes. It's Richard! Oh, wait, we gotta raise the camera because you're a lot taller. You're breathing heavy. Okay, what 2 questions, people? We only get 2 questions. This is his first and only probably appearance ever. You have to scoot slightly towards me. People think we're cute.
People think you're cute.
People think we're cute. When they see us interacting, they think
All
we're
right,
cute.
I'm all right. I was putting the shed together most of the day. Didn't get it finished today, though.
That wasn't my selected question.
Somebody said, how's your day, Richard?
But that doesn't count as
One
a
more.
question. No, that doesn't count as a question. But what questions should we ask Richard? Okay, let's ask the questions that people really want to know. 1, what's it like being married to me?
Okay, let's skip that one.
Am I your little ray of sunshine?
Let's skip that question.
Okay, fine. People want to know. Okay, so we could build off of the how are you doing. People want to know how are you doing since the show, and like if you have found yourself like in a better place. Like people want to know from you if you are doing better, because people have been very concerned with the fact that you were stuck in depression, and when you were last on Dr. Phil, you talked about how you hadn't been getting out of bed. Stuff. So updating people on, well, like, are you still stuck in bed, or what are you doing now? Like,
No, since the show, everything's been basically the same. But before the show is whenever all that stuff was going on. But since the show, it's just been kind of just normal stuff for me. But lately, I've been doing some handiwork. So
I think he's
good.
been doing a lot better. He's been getting out of bed. He's been working. He started working again, and today he's been building a shed for himself because I want half the garage and he doesn't really want to share it. So I got him a shed and said, you can have a shed and half the garage, but I'm taking half the garage. So that's what he's been doing. It's been really good. People are really curious about like your autistic traits because there's a lot of viewers who have autism. So I might use that one. Of course he still loves Robbie. You still love Robbie?
Yes, I do.
That will never go away. Of course
I'm
we love Robbie.
disappointed, but I still love him.
Yes. What do you like most on me?
Cheater? What's that?
I don't know. Oh, you cheated on the question. Because you said you weren't going to answer it. And then they asked a question and you answered it, and so they're calling them a cheater.
Oh.
Not you a cheater. Like, see, that's what words have meanings. The thing I talked about with his autism, how words have meanings, and if you don't use the words and then he sees the words and he doesn't like associate it to something, he gets like, what? Yeah, just like that. So there's that. Okay, wait, let's see. Well, somebody asked a question, you can answer it. They want to know, so when we do cupcake wars at home, how hard is it to judge our cupcakes?
It's pretty difficult.
But they're all delicious.
Yeah.
And I told them one time I made a cupcake and all my frosting melted off the side of it before it was even judged, and then I felt like I was a loser. And then I told them how our kids got so creative, they got out your torch. And then they torched the top of that.
Yeah, they watch those cooking shows all the time.
Yeah, we were talking. That's what we were talking about before you came on the show or whatever. Okay, so what else? Do you have an answer to this? If it's too personal, in your opinion, studies showing that more people with tendencies toward pedophilia will be able to get help and support structures. I don't understand that question. In place to help them, and if there was compulsory reporting, scaring them off. I don't really understand that question. Yes, what she said. Kyle said. Use the words correctly. Got a family of cupcake masters. Surprisingly, yeah, we do got a lot of cupcake masters. My other question for you that most people want to know. You guys have a last chance to ask a question talking about your day instead of a real question. Sorry, I was joking with the cheater. I meant about the question. I knew what you meant because you're actually a really positive person on my channel, so no worries. I had to think about it though. I was like, what does he mean? But okay. Oh, people want to know, what do you think about my channel? Do you feel in support of my channel? And if so, why are you not on the channel more often.
I'm in support of you having a channel. I just don't care enough to be on it with you.
It's not his cup of tea. You come off like such a jerk sometimes.
Yeah, that's all right.
So I told you guys, I warned you. He's a straight shooter. He does not sugarcoat things because we don't have a lot of emotion tied to his responses. But he just doesn't really like talking to people.
Not this way. I'd rather face-to-face conversation with someone.
We are.
No. No, I'm being interviewed.
Welcome.
This isn't conversation.
Welcome to my channel. People are so excited. I don't want to be on camera either. Yeah, he's not like really a camera person. And when we do the update for the show, I actually go on it by myself because even then he was like a little overwhelmed and he doesn't feel like he's in a place where he is mentally healed enough that he feels like he can help people because he's still struggling to figure out what his new normal looks like. And that's fair. It's totally fair. Whereas I'm kind of like this little
Helping
ball.
people was never my thing.
Well, he likes to help people in different ways. Like, yes, this is his first and probably only time on my channel.
Yeah, I like mechanical things. I don't like...
Yeah, like if my car breaks down, he's like, I got you. But if my heart breaks down, he's like, can I buy you flowers and we can just stop talking? Yeah. He said it can be, Richard. Is this first time on the channel? Yeah, it is. Welcome, Naya. Make sure you subscribe. It's the first time. This is a big deal. Richard doesn't do stuff like this. He must like me a little. At least a little. Hey, for all of you who wanted to see Garfield, though, will you show them Garfield? Because they've been wanting to see him again. He is famous on my show. This is his second appearance. This is Garfield. Chocolate always heals his heart. Oh my gosh, tell them what you did to our baby.
I didn't do anything to him. Aloric likes chocolate. Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying his name.
No,
Oh.
but now you all know that. But it's okay. This is Garfield. He's actually our small cat. And we have...
No, he's not the big cat.
He's small. We have two Maine Coons, but this is the one we rescued out of the middle of the street. And this is a funny story, but Rick loves that we have Garfield. But one day we were at work, and we used to work together. And somebody called and said, they knew I had 16 foster kittens, and they said, there's this cat, he's stuck in the middle of the road, we're going to bring him in. It was at a Wendy's. They're like, can you please come and get him and just foster him? And I was like, oh, he's going to kill me. He told me I couldn't have a 17th cat, but, I mean, this cat needs us. So I left work, I went and got this cat, and I smuggled him in to our business. And he chose me as his human, and I could not let him go, so he never became a foster. He just became our newest baby, and him and Richard are so close. Hi there, DMHD. But
Who? Oh.
I had to give him insider information. Anyway, so yeah, so this cat chose me, and then he has never left, and he's our little fur baby, and Richard loves him. But Richard has two cats that he rescued. They're Maine Coons. Stop looking at your watch.
I've been on here long enough.
No. Where's the big cat, Richard? 16. OMG. Yeah, we don't have 16 anymore, but he has two Maine Coons. And you have to show them the Maine Coons now. You gotta find
We'll
one.
get one.
If they'll let him pick them up, because sometimes they can be a little bit moody. It's all about what they want to do. They're big. You wait. So this is little Garfield. You my little baby. I love my Garfield. He makes me happy, but I'm allergic to him. It's funny. Richard's coming back. He's going to go get a Maine Coon. He is funny, right? That's who I love, is the funny guy. I feel like my face is red. I don't know why. I'm going to grab a tissue. Hold on. Oop, it froze. Okay, we froze. And... blocked. Yours is 2.7 pounds. Your cat. Sorry, my nose was runny. 10:47. I'm allergic to cats too. So I'm only allergic to Garfield, and I'm not allergic to the Maine Coons. They don't shed the same. It's so weird, but they don't. And I think he's going to find one. I'm so excited. You guys have never met the Maine Coons. Now my nose is all red. Sorry. It's because it was sniffly. It's okay because I'm perfectly imperfect. And I'm cool with it. I don't care if you guys see my pimples and my...
Got Romeo.
Oh, the Maine Coons arrived. Everybody said they really like Richard. This is the Maine Coon. So he's one of the big ones. And he's like, if he was one of the big chickens, whoa, he would be scary to fight. And those cats are bigger than my Pomeranian. And they attack him as such. Thank you. He is big. We have 2 of them. They're brothers. And the breeder didn't want them because somebody had returned them. And she said that they were no good anymore. They couldn't be resold because they were 6 months old.
Their cat is a taco.
That is funny. No judgment. Certainly no judgment here.
Last question. Hurry up. Let's go.
People think that you're really funny.
I am.
I can't. Okay, my second question. Well, you never finished talking about... I thought I asked you. But you never finished talking about if you supported my channel and why you didn't go on. But anyway, so to make that...
One of my things is with that, it's not a question that counts, but I don't have any problems with other people. Like, I let people be themselves. Like, I don't judge anyone for being who they are. And I just let people be who they are, and I can just accept them for that whenever, like, we're talking to other people. Like, people don't offend me. So, even though she's, like, very outgoing and talks to people, it doesn't bother me when she does. Sometimes I'll join in on the conversation, but...
Rarely. It's a treat. It's a real treat if you can get him to join in.
Yeah.
Because we don't even have conversations. We mostly...
It's not often she's talking about something I care about.
He is not funny. You're not funny. They lied. You guys are liars. He's not as funny as you think. So we already talked about Robbie. If we don't talk about Robbie, then he's not in the title. So I don't really find that funny, but whatever. But we already talked about his update. And how many pets do we have? We have 3 cats, 1 dog. And I want to see if anybody else asked you a question. Because sometimes they talk a lot and then I miss it. Well, I post videos of my pets too. My son started getting into watching animals. Maybe? What child do I hear? Don't
Maybe
say your
Sarah.
name. Just show me your face. Oh my gosh.
Wow, I forgot.
He cannot eat. Oh,
Yeah.
here's the other cat. You can bring it to Daddy.
She has
He can't be on.
Houdini.
Here's another cat. Okay, they were asking about Cupcake Wars. What? This is the other
This is
Maine
the other
Coon.
Maine Coon.
If he's willing to stay. He's very scared right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting.
Right? I'm going to have to go back and probably, like, bleep him out. But honestly...
Get your face on the screen.
This is Houdini. He got his name because he knows how to break out of a cage. And he broke free and would release himself from it. I don't think you can see, like, his whole body. But before he jumps, I'm going to show you as much as I can. Isn't he huge? Oh, did you hurt?
Yeah.
Sorry. But yes, he's huge. Oh, you can hear them when they run. It's crazy.
They sound like the kids running through the house.
What's C-Day? It's okay. I deleted them. But no, it was a mini update. We talked about, actually, it was a lot more than a mini update. They talked about Robbie a lot, and then I was like, can we stop talking about Robbie? It's okay. I blocked them. It's all right. I don't have time for haters. I'm too busy getting my shine on.
Second question.
Okay, second question, people. What's the must-know question? Task Richard. Your eyes are really pretty right now. I'm thinking because I have a million questions. How do you stay close to each other with all that we have going on to make time for our marriage? And what does he do for a living? He is a fluff monster. How do we make time for our marriage? Well, who do I see? Child. Okay. I don't know. We get creative. Like the other day, we danced
Yeah, we danced to our wedding song.
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we sing it to each other when we dance sometimes. I think I sang it more this time than he did. And he buys me flowers more often now because he knows that I like them. Before, he didn't think I liked them because I told him I wasn't a red rose kind of girl. So he took that as I didn't like flowers for a long time. But what I was saying is I'm not super cliche. So I like things that are different. So the flowers he just got me, oh, they're gorgeous. They're like so many different colors. And they're really fall-like. And they're very pretty. And they have lots of roses in them. And he thinks that I don't like roses, but I do like roses. I just don't prefer a dozen red roses. And I'm probably not alone on that. Yeah, we danced our wedding song a lot. And if we have like a bad fight, or we don't really have a lot of bad fights now, but if we fight, we started a new thing. He loves it. I make him hold my hand while we fight, because there's a study that if you hold each other's hands while you're fighting, that you're going to actually have a lot more respect and you're less likely to yell at each other. So we started doing that, and we've gotten a lot better at fighting, mostly.
Yeah, we still have a bad one occasionally, but it's more,
I mean, every marriage has
Yeah.
the occasional bad one where you're both like, screw you, and then you come back in the room a half hour later and you're like, what do you want for dinner? Like, I don't know. We're weird. But at the end of the day, we try really hard never to go to bed angry. So that's important. And Richard used to like to run away. So like when things got tough, he used to be somebody who like couldn't handle it because again, he's not super emotional or
yeah, whenever we would be having a fight, I would like to leave the situation.
yeah. But now he stays, and I know that that takes a lot for him. So he's putting in a lot of effort when it comes to working through things, and we communicate a lot better than we used to. And I think we're just a lot healthier than we used to be overall. We don't always like each other. I mean, he doesn't, remember? Am I funny?
Sometimes, but
See?
no, generally.
See? He doesn't think I'm funny, people. Although I told you jokes and you laughed at all three.
Right, that fell into the sometimes category.
What did the fish say when it ran into the wall?
See, there was no wall.
Damn.
No.
You want to laugh because I'm funny. When she gets him lots of help, skip back for a win.
Yeah, the holding hands thing does seem to work pretty well.
It does. It's weird because like I do it for my own sake mostly. Ugh, let me find him. Hold on. Okay. Blocked. Thanks. Always looking out, peeps. My peeps. I did a block on it, so we're good. But yeah, the holding hand things does work. It's really weird, but I tend to get really emotional because I'm an emotional being. I did block. And so anyway, I'll get real emotional and I get passionate, as I call it. So I raise my voice, and I don't like becoming that person because I don't want to yell at my husband, obviously. I would like, and he, when I yell, receives it as disrespect, makes stupid faces at me. Anyway, when I yell, being who he is, he receives that as harsh and unloving, and he receives it as the ultimate disrespect that a woman should, she should respect her husband, and that's one of the things that he perceives as respect. So when I raise my voice, he doesn't like that, and I don't mean to do it. I'm a woman. I mean, we're all pretty much similar in that way. We tend to raise our voices, and he does not like whenever I get like naggy or bitchy, he calls it, because it's too much for him at one time. So if I have like a list of grievances, I need to come at him one at a time and in a way that is like loving and calm. So definitely when you hold hands, it has stopped me from raising my voice. And he was like, when we're fighting, I don't want to hold your hand necessarily. And I'm like, I'm not doing it for like, I need your affection. I'm doing it to keep myself like calm. And it's really helped me to, it just helps you to come from a loving place when you're having a disagreement versus coming from an emotional place. And it's just calming, and it just kind of levels you and brings you back down to reality, I think. Anything else you have for everyone? You want to say thank you to everyone for the love and support? Because I think that's important.
They don't need my thank you. They have you to stare at all the time.
They don't love staring at me. They love staring at you.
No.
It's true. I'm going to try that next time. Seems like it sounds good. It is good. It actually is very effective. And it's hard to remember to do it. And then once I get already annoying and like naggy and raise my voice, he doesn't want to hold my hand. So then it gets hard. So do it before you raise your voice. He just knows to joke around and be sweet, and it makes you laugh. Richard's getting better at knowing how to diffuse me. And generally, he just needs to say, I love you, it's okay. And that, I don't remember what else. But usually if he says those things early on, we do a lot better too. I just get a little bit, sometimes I just get so busy that I start to get stressed out and a little bit over.
Yeah, it's much easier for me to take it one at a time. If there's a break in between each topic where I can address the situation, maybe say my side of the story before she goes on to the next topic, it helps a lot.
Yeah, because if you give him too much, you've lost him. Because he feels like he has to... Don't be embarrassed, Richard. You're an extension of Kristin. You're your own person. You're not an extension of me. You are you, and people love you. But you definitely are extended onto my channel. You're an extension of my channel. You seem very down to earth and make Kristin happy. Yeah, he generally does. We were rated 100% match on Christian Mingle when we met, and I thought he was a total dork, and I wasn't interested in him. That's my dork. And, that was cringy. I'm not sure which was cringy, me or you. Who was cringy, me or Richard, or both? But no one likes you.
What?
Wait, no one likes who? Now I'm just confused. Didn't ask. Wait. I'd like to take Robbie out the title. Oh. Somebody tuning in late who has no idea that we already talked about Robbie for like a good 30 minutes because we're like 96 minutes into this live. Don't worry, he was blocked. So we were 100% match, and I was like determined to find out why we weren't 100% match. And so
You've been on here over an hour and a half.
yeah, sometimes we do that. We have a lot of fun. Tell them, people, we have so much fun. Oh, don't worry, I already blocked him. But anyway, so yeah, so on the first date, I was on my phone, and I was like looking through stuff. And then the second date, we call it the fluke because we weren't even supposed to hang out. And people are so excited. It's Richard, right? He answered questions. You'll have to go back and watch him. But anyway, so he knew on the first date that he was going to marry me and that I was going to be his wife.
Well, look at that face.
That's not why he wanted to marry me.
Yes, sir. I decided that long before I seen the assets.
You're embarrassing me on my channel. Anyway, so yeah, so I don't remember what I was talking about because I'm embarrassed. So I decided I wanted to figure out why we were 100% match, and then so we went and hung out on the second date, and we called it the fluke. And on the way, I was halfway there. He was an hour away from me, and I forgot to put a bra on. Like that's how much I just didn't care, but I just was like determined. I didn't have any kids that weekend, so I was like, whatever. So we hung out, and then we were supposed to cuddle and watch a movie on the couch, and I wasn't ready, so we sat at his dining room table, and he was extremely supportive of it and was like, okay, let's do the table. And I think we drew pictures and played games, and I braided his daughter's Barbie's hair at the time, and I left after that. And then on the way home, he was supposed to talk to me until I got home safe, and he fell asleep, and I was like, who does this guy think he is? I thought he was such a jerk. It was so funny. And then he knew on the first day. He's like, yup. Aw. He is proud sometimes. Every once in a while, he's like, yes, that's my wife. And then other times he's like, why are you my wife? Why? I told him how I embarrassed the kid one time. Oh, I almost slipped.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the professional here.
I don't normally. I almost did. But I almost slipped. It's because we love them so much. We just talk about them so openly. They're such a huge part of our life, our children. And so it's so hard not to just share them with you guys because we just want to. But we also know for their protection and, you know, being that they're not all so little. But the baby I'm more willing to share because he's so little that you guys are going to forget him in 5 years and he'll only be 7 and he's never going to stay anywhere by himself and he's not even going to go to school for years, so it'll be fine. But anyway, back to us. So, yeah, so then on the third date, we decided to have a play date. And then while our kids were outside playing on the swing sets and stuff at his house.
I don't need to be here for this, do I?
Yeah, because people like your reactions.
They don't.
Yes, they do. See? Aw. It says the way you're looking at me while I'm talking to you shows how much you love me. Okay, wait. So anyway, so then he tries to kiss me, right, in the kitchen. And I turned my head. I was like, I'm so sorry, I wasn't ready. I don't know. And I like freaked out. And I was like, I can't kiss him yet. I was just so nervous. But don't worry, we did. We bridged that hurdle. And we kissed that night, I think. Mm-hmm. And it went well. And then the rest was history. And he proposed to me after... What? I don't know about that, Chief. The way he's like, boom. I don't know what I'm missing. What am I missing? Oh. Anyway, so yeah, we did end up kissing, and then after 2 weeks, he decided he wanted to propose to me, which is absolutely insane. Yes, I'm ignoring them. And, it's so funny that they went out of their way to legit make a second account.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think I know who it is too, and I gotta update it.
They're still going.
Oh, that's okay. Hide user. Okay, so anyway, I did. Okay, so then 2 weeks into our relationship, he decided he wanted to propose to me, and he made a ring out of string that he had in his pocket from work, and I was like, there's no way this ring's gonna fit. So I let him put it on my finger, and it fit perfectly. It was like he knew my exact finger size. It was the weirdest thing ever. And so I was like, okay, well, okay, fine. Like, I'll marry you. Like, he has to be the perfect fit. Like, who could make a ring perfectly to the size of my finger? So then he was like, let's go to Vegas. And I was like, okay. And so then we were like, we're going to go in the car and go to Vegas. And I was like, this is crazy. This is not something I can do. And then I was like, no, we can't go to Vegas. So we turned around and I was like, we can't go to Vegas. We
had to wait 4 more weeks.
So then we planned a wedding 4 weeks later, and it was supposed to be just us and our kids, and then it ended up having people come. But yeah, we just wanted to do something like small and intimate, and we actually got married on July 4th. And so yeah, so we just did something unique and special to us. We got married after 6 weeks. It's now been over 6 years, and here we are. So it's just crazy. The whole situation was crazy. But I definitely think that we are 100% match. I think that we moved a bit fast, and I think that had we had the chance to redo it, we would have moved a lot slower. I think it made it very difficult, and I think that had we dated longer, we could have had some of those fights that we needed to have in a healthier way, instead of being like, here's me and all my stuff. We moved in together, and it was just kind of like, wait, you didn't clean out your ex-wife's stuff. It was a little overwhelming, and I think I didn't handle it as well as I could have, and I got really overwhelmed really fast. But you know, that's me being a female. But he was totally fine with it. So, yeah. Oh, my gosh. You people and your ignorance. I can't deal. They just keep making new accounts. It's so sad. I've never been spammed that bad.
Yeah.
It's okay, though. People are funny. But anyway, yeah, so that's our story. That's how me and Richard came to be. He's so done with my channel, I can tell. He's ready to leave, so...
This was only supposed to be 2 questions.
It was. It was 2 questions. I know, they do have no life.
All right, I gotta go.
Okay, love you.
Love you too.
Smooches. But yeah, so that's how we came to be. And the trolls are busy in their basements tonight. Yeah, they really are. But I only put... So... The reason I actually started putting that back in my title was I put in the title that it was a mini Robbie update, because I did not want to focus my live on Robbie. And so I feel like that's my way of putting up my boundary. If I say that I'm going to do a mini Robbie update and then we're going to move on, you guys all come into it with the expectation of like, okay, so she's going to give us a little mini update, but we're not going to have like full-on, full-blown conversation for the entire like 90 minutes. I don't want to be known as Robbie's mom. I want to be known as Kristin Piper, which is me. People are so sad. So sad. But anyway, okay guys, I'm going to let you all go. Hi Victor, welcome to my channel. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. And if you guys need anything, I think they're trying to save her money, Kyle. I'm not sure. I think it's funny. It's whatever. Because we love to hear your cute stories, too. I knew it was only a mini update. People are so sad, honestly. People really are sad, but it's okay. It doesn't bother me because I know who I am. And I also know that I have never cashed out a single dollar on my channel. And so I never made money going on the Dr. Phil show. And even when I did the update, I actually spent my own money to be able to do the update or whatever. and I've never benefited like that. And we've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on that child. And honestly, I am working part-time doing my YouTube channel because so many of you love and support me. And so I did monetize my channel. I don't feel sad about it. I don't feel guilty about it. And if you guys think I make a killing on it, that's just silly. I might make a few bucks a day. Like, honestly, I probably spend more on Starbucks a month than I make on YouTube. So let's just be real. Thank you for letting us have a fun time here. I really enjoyed hearing you talk, especially about Cupcake Wars. Love it. Thanks for another awesome live. Always so down to earth. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I actually think I know who it is that's trolling me. And I think that they're trolling me because I blocked them. And I warned that person that I would block them from my channel. And I'm pretty sure I know who it is. But I think it's actually a child. So I feel sorry for them. It's okay. Because only children do stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure I know who it is. And I'm going to contact his mother to shut that down. So there's that. So it's okay. I'm not going to waste my time or energy on that person. I'm going to go hang out with my hubs now that he has gotten a shower. And we'll probably hang out and watch some kind of, like, I don't know, some weird Halloween show for the rest of the evening. And then we'll go from there. And it'll be great. Anyway, love you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you always for the love and support. I know you guys probably get sick of me saying it, but I'm sincere when I say I legit love you all so much. I can't say thank you enough. I appreciate you all so much. You have made my healing process easier and have helped me to be able to heal. And you guys are so funny and so fun. And I just really look forward to my time that I spend with you guys, and appreciate that you guys accept me for the hot mess that I am. And yeah, that's it. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. I'm sure I'll do another live soon. I'll probably start posting videos again. I just haven't had time. And that's actually why I decided to monetize my channel, because I have such limited time. And when I take away from being able to go do personal shopping to do YouTube, I want to be able to eventually kind of balance it out, because I know that people want me to make videos, and I don't want to give up on all the people who helped me heal, because you guys mean so much to me. So, all right, guys, love you all. Good night.